Three Beards podcast. My name is Craig. Alongside with me is Chris and Austin. How are you gentlemen doing?
I'm doing wonderful tonight. How are you folks doing?
I know up there in the Smoky Mountains, up there in Tennessee.
Get it right, the Great Smoky Mountains.
No, you gotta remember I come from the west. Those things are hills.
Speaking of hills, we're going to be talking about pyramids tonight. The Great Pyramids.
As for one of them, one of the pyramids. Yes.
But this is the oldest pyramid. It was 256 BC.
And that's what like I said. I was curious if you were going to find that, because that was the first thing I saw too. Is about the Great Pyramid. There's actually another one. I'm going to butcher the hell out of these names. So that's just fact check me. I'm going to butcher them. But I want to say it's pronounced Dozier.
Dozier.
Yeah, Djoser. But some places have it pronounced. It's like Dezer or Zozer. So I mean, there's a few. So I mean, I was confused on this one, but that one's actually even older than the Great Pyramid by a long ways. I think it was almost. I want to say it was almost 1,000 years. And it's in the necropolis. So that's there is. So I mean, it was first part of the research. You go into the pyramids. When we were talking about this topic. It's kind of what, where do we want to go with this thing? Because, everybody knows about, the Great Pyramids. You've seen the pyramids of Giza, the three pyramids. Little fun fact. I don't know if you guys know this. When you think of the pyramids, do you picture like vast sand desert? There is fast food restaurants literally on the, if you go an overview, the city is right up against the pyramids. You have to take a camera shot. It's only a certain angle where it makes it look like it's out in the vast desert, but the city is actually grown up to the pyramids now. It's like almost in the middle of town.
That's what the people were saying. I was doing the research that they were talking about how people thought that they were slaves building these things, and it wasn't slaves. They think it's more of the village people building it, for storage and whatnot. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was massive they're made out of massive amounts of rock and stuff. 5,000 tons of mortar was used to construct the pyramid. That's a lot of mortar. 5,000 tons of mortar?
Yeah. It's one of those. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. If it was slave labor construction, I mean, even in modern terms, the logistics that would be required to build, as a civilization, to build something like this is, I mean, it's for lack of better words, monumental. I mean, just in the task that, I mean, it's these things. I mean, this isn't something that you just build in a year.
Well, like they said, it took 23 years, but still,
one took 14 years on a time span.
They did with nothing besides.
Yep.
Yeah. Look what they did. Nowadays we have machines. They had ropes, water, and copper. It only took them 23 years to build these things. So it's crazy.
Yeah, no, and so like I said, everybody knows about the three main pyramids. Yeah, I mean you have the Great Pyramid of Khufu. You have the middle one, which is Khafre, and then like I said, I'm going to butcher the names. It's Menkaure is the third one, but also next to those, there's also three smaller pyramids that are known as the pyramids, the Queen Pyramids.
The Queen Pyramids.
But if you look at them, this is kind of what really kind of sparked, searching around. There's three of them. One of them is built in the style of the three pyramids, where it's almost a formed, peak. I can get my hands right here. Yeah. So you got this, but then the other two are a steep, the step pyramids, where you have a large base, a smaller middle, and then even smaller top, which is like the South American style that you see when you're in Mexico, Peru. You see those steps.
Is there an explanation why they built them like pyramids and not just like a stone wall? Like the Mayans and stuff like that.
Well, see, that's kind of where I didn't find much in the research. I mean, I'm sure there's probably, the explanation is that these were not as important. Probably maybe this queen was more important. That's why it was built better.
Makes sense.
But the part I look at is, okay, so here you have a civilization that is in Egypt. I mean, a long ways away, but there is an equal civilization, a couple, less than 1,800 years later, is building the same style of pyramid over in South America. I go,
Yeah.
what are the odds that you have two different civilizations that are building the same type of
Same
pyramid?
style pyramid.
Yeah, and that's one. Whereas, as you're going through, it was to me. I mean, it was. I'm trying to figure out. It's like, I don't know. We've talked. We'll talk about more about this. I mean, little precursor, like when we talk about Amazon, that forbidden archaeology book that I have. Egyptian tablets were found in the Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, so they when they discovered them. So, but because they were discovered there, well, this can't fit. So instead of finding why is this here, it's and it's been one of the things. Like if you ever listen to a guy by the name of Graham Hancock, he'll talk about it. Archaeology does not like to have their line of their line of timeline questioned.
They don't. They think they're the only one with the correct answer and
Yep.
everything. So they don't like to have their theories challenged, even if you give them a valid explanation on why it should be challenged. They still cast you out like you're just an outsider, like you don't know no better.
That's what it is, because since this didn't fit the narrative, it's like, well, this can't be here, so obviously this is wrong. It just gets tossed away. Instead of looking at it, okay, why is this here? So, so the explanation could be, okay, so maybe we're wrong. Maybe the Egyptians were a seafaring, civilization that actually traveled out there. And they made it over to this part of the, they were one of the first ones over to this side of the hemisphere, to this part. And they actually got there, and they're the ones that taught, the Aztecs, the Mayans, how to build these structures. And then you can go to the other thing, and we have the little... We have aliens. There's that theory that it was aliens or time travelers. Matt, producer, he just put up a link right there to it. It's a website I found, is outerplaces.com. They show a depiction of a hieroglyphic section that if you guys take a second to just go look at it, you can see there is pictures on there. It looks like a spaceship. It looks like a helicopter in the hieroglyphs. And one of the things that they say is, you could take it from, they try to explain it as you had one group, one dynasty put their name on there. The next dynasty wanted to put their name over it. And then over time, those have worn away. And that's what made those symbols. But it's pretty amazing that erosion makes it a perfectly shaped helicopter and a spaceship.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. I gotta click on it, but
I click over and you see it. I mean, it's you look at it and you're like, I don't know. And
but my thing is, how did they possibly build something 28 feet high with no ladders and no cranes and no nothing? This was before BC. Now this was before Christ, before all this equipment came evolved. 28 feet high. So these people were very constructive people. So did you climb up the side once you started building with the bricks? Did you climb and climb and climb? It's 28 feet high and 46.68 meters. So that's a vast, massive structure.
Are you talking about the Great Pyramid?
Yeah.
That's 455 feet.
Goddamn.
Yeah, 455.
And you gotta
I mean, that's like I said. I mean, 455 feet tall by 755 foot square.
No, you're actually wrong, Craig. It's 480 feet tall.
That was the original. That was the original.
Okay, 481 feet tall.
And erosion has taken the peak down. But yeah, you are. That is correct. The original one was about 480 feet.
But how do you build a 481 feet pyramid?
Perfectly shaped to a point that is watertight. It doesn't leak.
Sarah's right.
I mean,
I'm telling you, man.
If we could only have some of this knowledge that these people had, we would be amazing people at the caliber of all the equipment that we have now.
I mean, obviously, are you looking at that right now, Austin?
I'm trying to type it in. I typed the wrong one. I'm a little tired.
You can click that. Yeah, but I mean, you think about it. Just like even Chris, if you look at the roof right above you, I mean, one nail in the wrong spot, you have a leak.
Yeah.
They built a 455 foot tall by 755 foot square pyramid that doesn't leak.
That does not leak. So that means
you can slide stuff in between the stones. I mean, they fit perfectly together. I mean, they didn't have lasers, so how did they stone carve perfect blocks that fit perfectly? I mean,
and you got a rough ashlar that you chiseled to make it smooth with who knows what material. Like, I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, look at Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. They carved those amazing, sculptures, with chisels. But you think about it, you're talking thousands of these massive blocks that you're having to perfectly engineer into a perfect flat. And they stack those thousands of times. I go, they didn't take them millions of years. I mean, they did this, and you're like,
23 days. Oh, I'm sorry, 23 years. My bad.
How?
23.
I don't know. Like I said, it's one of those. Just how could they have done it? I mean, even modern thing, they've done like cranes and logs, and they've been able to do it. But you still don't create the engine. If you had guys going out there, cutting the rock out of the quarry, perfect blocks. Yeah. So it's just. Yeah. So like I said, when as you guys see those things, and that's kind of where with a spaceship and stuff. If you guys look at the carvings in South America, they depict guys that the best way you could describe them is somebody in a spacesuit. It's on, and so there's that's led a lot of those theories of maybe somebody from the future, somebody off world, came back and imparted this knowledge. Say they imparted it to the Egyptians. The Egyptians brought it over to South America. South America was like, hey, we're going. Yeah, we just don't have the patience. Flat top.
Flat top.
I don't know, because if you go to the
or different materials, they may not have been able to form that pyramid part, so they probably just went, wallet.
Like I said, I'm gonna butcher this. Like it's in the region called it's Teotihuacan.
Oh my God, that's what you're talking about.
See those? Yeah,
that's cool. That is amazing. I was looking at too. They're talking about like the circle. It was like they look up to a circle on one of the things. That's interesting. This is in Egypt.
Yeah, that's in Egypt.
Wow,
it's in Egypt.
Yep.
I could the link. I was trying to type it out. I might have been doing it wrong, so I just typed in pyramid hieroglyphic helicopter, and it came up. But
yeah, and
that's interesting.
Like I said, jumping around here. I apologize, all scatterbrained. Before I forget, that one that said that pyramid at Dozier, that is a giant step pyramid as well, and that one it's in it's Saqqara region. It's called the Necropolis, but it's one of those things. So the Egyptians did a step pyramid, but then all of a sudden, that's the explanation. It's like they just kept improving on it, and that's where we got the perfect ones. But the thing I'm just curious is just, how did completely unrelated cultures start building the same style construction?
They didn't have no blueprints back then. I don't know how they get blueprints to them. Maybe by carrier pigeon. Maybe they gave them a carrier pigeon. Take these blueprints to whoever you see them and drop them off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what I don't understand, because like I understand, same thing with America here. We have our museums and we want to preserve what we have, but why can't we open the tombs? Stop having these grave robbers go in there. Let's just go in there. Let's go look at everything. Why are they keeping us from going inside the tombs after thousands of millions of years?
Well, it's the Great Pyramid too. They know that there's these openings, and they won't go in.
Damn government over there is holding them off.
They keep saying, "Well, we don't want to damage the integrity of the pyramid. We don't want to do this stuff." And there's a lot of people who are like, "Okay, why when you're building this stacked pyramid? Okay, so why are you making all these? If anybody can look over there, you can bring up the diagram of the Great Pyramid if you want to do that real quick, Austin. You can take a look at it.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's all these internal chambers.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of chambers.
Yeah,
the galley, the main thing, or whatever. There's a bunch of different chambers.
And they're finding more and more, and like I said, they're not. They're finding more and more of these voids, but they're not exploring them, and nobody is really getting a reason why they refuse, other than just, well, we just don't want to damage the pyramid.
There's more to that. I mean, maybe that you're just scared of what they're going to find. There was the King Chamber. Actually, this converts into Freemasonry a little bit, and maybe you all will learn about this one day. But the King's Chamber, the Grand Galley, the Queen's Chamber, and it's just different layers and different chambers of the pyramid. And it's crazy how these people carved this, etched this, however they did it. But the world may never know. We may never know how they did it because they didn't leave a diagram on how they built these tunnels. I mean, everything that we got here is based on speculation and measurements because nobody left a how-to guide how to build a pyramid.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking up that chamber thing right here.
Why wouldn't they keep the queen and king's chamber together? Don't you? I would think they would want that.
That's when he decided to kick her out. Put out your paper. Leave me alone.
Yeah, it's like you said, there's all the shafts, because like if you look at this one, Khufu's pyramid, they're showing this, they've got there's these large voids. I mean, like it just shows like this blob. It says like a big void.
Yeah, 30 meters long.
Yeah, and there's different speculations of what this is for. I mean, everything from like the movie Stargate, where this was the docking center. A pyramid was a docking center for the spaceships. I mean, there's crazy ones. It's a battery. The pyramids themselves are perfectly aligned with Orion's belt in the same lineup.
And that should be right there, about something that has to. I don't know. It's got to be something in the sky, man. The stuff. I mean,
and that's part of the thing that leads to it. It's like, okay, so they're looking up. They've lined them out perfectly from there. I mean, it's leaning to them. And then ones, I don't know if you guys went further than South America or Egypt at all and looked around. But there's also one that was discovered on Google Earth. I've got that. Matt just put that up there too. If you can type it in, if you have Google Earth, you can type that in. There's a peak formation called the Pyramid Trough. What it is there's this shape. It is a perfectly shaped, just like the Great Pyramid, four-sided. Scientists say that this is through glaciers, wind erosion, snow. But there's one thing, I learned from college, taking geology and stuff. Nature abhors a straight line. Nature does not like to form perfect lines.
That's like the Mason-Dixon line. It's not a perfect line.
Yeah, that's a little different, but just a slightly different topic. We'll get to that on another day. So you look at it and you're like, they're saying like, no, this is just perfectly formed. It's like, this is a four-sided pyramid that's out in the middle of the snow. Yeah, it could be, could it be a natural thing? But you're like, I learned more than one thing there, Keith. Just one thing. But yeah, so you look at it and you're wondering, how could this form? It's out there in Antarctica. I mean, we're going to talk about Antarctica in another episode. I mean, that area is just crazy what's going on. So here we have Egypt. Here we have South America. Here we have Antarctica. And we've got locations where it is a perfectly, it is a four-sided pyramid.
So do you think mummies really existed in the pyramids?
In the pyramids, I'm trying to remember if I saw that in there. I don't think that they were they don't ever have anything buried in the pyramid.
It said one report says mummies and mummy parts were found in some of them. There are evidence of burials inside the pyramids. Pyramids were definitely used for tombs, burial equipment such as jewelry, mimes, or mummy parts.
Yeah, and that's like I said, I don't know if it was. Yeah, I mean, if it was, because I know they were dedicated to the pharaohs, but then it's like, so where, if that was the case, where would that pyramid? Why would the pyramid be built in Antarctica? It's there. It's was Antarctica in another location on the planet at one point, and slowly has moved that way, and it's a previous civilization. It's aliens. However you want to describe it, and then the other one I didn't give Matt this one, but Curiosity, the rover. Yeah, if you look that up in May 7th, 2015, Curiosity took a photograph.
Didn't we lose him?
Who's that?
Curiosity.
Yeah, I believe that one. Yeah, I believe that one. Something happened.
R.I.P. Man, R.I.P.
Yeah. So it took a picture, and if you look at it, it's really small. It's kind of tilted. It's tilted this way, and it's the same thing. It's a perfectly shaped four-sided pyramid.
Yep.
I'm trying to look at Google Maps right now.
And when they have it, they're saying, okay, volcanic activity cleaves the rocks. It's going to make this thing. But once again, the odds of nature forming a perfectly shaped, equal-sided four-side pyramid, I don't even know what the odds would be of that. When all the rocks around it are jagged, rounded, but here's this one that's just sitting there, perfectly shaped. So is that the tip of a larger pyramid, or is that just a smaller like artifact? Because I showed Austin a couple of days ago. It's in the Cydonia region, the face. I don't know if anybody has ever seen that.
Yeah, I remember. You showed me that.
And so
that was crazy.
And so that lends into things like, so here you have a face on Mars, a pyramid, four-sided pyramid on Mars. Now you have the Sphinx in Egypt, a four-sided pyramids in Egypt. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. They Stargate. Yeah. And so, so you're wondering, like you said, I'm looking at it, and I'm technical difficulties there on Chris's side. But yeah, so, I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that. I'm just myself. I'm kind of leaning towards, there's something connecting all these together.
If you had the answer, we would have $1 million answer, Craig. I feel the same way. There's people that didn't even come first. That's like there's pyramids in China as well too. How do they get the same concept to build the same pyramid?
So there's either just a great civilization that traveled all over the world spreading this knowledge, or there was something else giving that information out. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure. I said, how do you go through and you see those hieroglyphs, see those carvings showing these things, but and it's also, unfortunately, I apologize, I don't have the names right on the top here, but both cultures also worshipped an animalistic god. So there's always been that rumor. It's like, okay, was something extraterrestrial coming down that was animal
helping them, cannibal,
not humanoid like us, but more of because I think South America, they worshipped, I think one of the gods was a feathery creature, kind of like a bird. Egypt, if I remember right, is Ra, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think Ra was a bird.
Yeah. What's going on?
And so if that's and if that's the case, I'm wondering if the possibility of maybe those two civilizations saw the same thing, because like Chris brought up China, they're dragons, and some
Hmm.
you have you have every these a lot of these ancient cultures all seem to worship and just hold in high regard some sort of animal as as a thing to worship. So I don't know. I'm not, like I said, it's me. I mean, like I said, I'm not an expert in this at all. It's just, to me, looking at this, it's just crazy the similarities between these.
Yep, it's crazy.
It's
And
interesting. It
and
really is.
alien invasion, survivors documented in the hieroglyphics. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just because what are the, when they said, that it's just one name on top of another name, and that's what gave those pictures. I go, that's pretty crazy that it eroded it perfectly to make a helicopter and a spaceship. I don't, like I said, I don't know, but I don't know if I buy that that's just natural erosion.
No,
I'm,
that's not natural at all, man.
Yeah, it's
It can't be
so
natural.
yeah, it's pretty, so I mean, it's
I mean, all research is like really good speculation because they don't know who built the pyramids. I mean, they don't know how the pyramids got built in different countries in the same way. I mean, so basically, the really smart people they use speculation. Oh, I speculate this. I mean, they've measured it, they've looked at it, so they have an idea, but they really have no clue on who built these pyramids and why there's so many pyramids that look the same around the world. I mean, all this, like I said, all this is speculation because they don't give a letter or no one has an actual blueprint on how to build a pyramid. So basically, they speculate due to scientific and geology and stuff like that. So I think basically they just speculate really good.
yeah, I don't know. I wish I was an expert and had more of these things, but just
I'm gonna
just
do it
looking
every
at it.
episode, man. Every episode, I'm gonna say it. There is evidence of all this stuff, and we have the truth, but it's not gonna be let out because the government won't let us know. And
No,
No,
it's the Egyptian government.
yeah, because it's just
They're all in
we talk about it. Chaos ensues if if your normal daily life is disrupted. I mean, people freak out, and then
yes.
do other stuff. So it's just we'll have to talk about we'll have to talk about it. I mean, on future episodes like stuff. But I mean, I'm a big believer. I mean, we'll get in this. I'll kind of teaser for subjects later down, but I go, one of the things like that was brought up here a little bit by one of the listeners. Stargate. Did you guys ever watch that show?
not really.
Stargate HG on. Okay, awesome show, by the way.
I used to watch part of it. That's back on what was it called? What was that channel?
It
The
was
Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, Sci-Fi
Sci-Fi
yeah.
Channel.
So basically, a little quick thing on the show. What it is back in Egypt, a ring is discovered, and they figured out that it dials itself, and then when you actually locked in different points on a star chart, it opened up a portal.
Oh wow!
You could travel like a wormhole. Like all of a sudden you could just travel through it, and you're in another destination. I'm, myself. One of the things that I've always kind of held a belief on is that we have either contact with somebody or we are currently doing something off world.
I wish I could go to sleep and build a time machine because me,
Yeah,
you, and Austin would travel. Where are we gonna travel to?
because it's
I can't even think of anything right now.
yeah, because it's like Tara said this stuff. I mean, because in a way, like with their theory, on that Stargate thing, it would make sense. It's like instead of some giant ship sailing over, landing on the planet, guys walking down creature walking down a platform. What if something like this, all of a sudden, just boom, they're there? Because there's all those reports that gods would just appear. And so what if this is the case? I mean, because I've said, I mean, like I said, we'll talk about conspiracies. We've talked about on the show. A few years ago, we lost, a whole bunch of special forces in a mission in
Yeah,
Afghanistan.
interesting.
And this is one of the, because there's just teasers, like I said, for future one. It's like Project Solar Warden. If you guys want to look that up, like I said, we'll talk about that too.
Dude, we have so much to talk about.
It's a rumor that, we have a space fleet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called, it's under the name Project Solar Warden. But that's kind of where my theory, like this stuff is. What if we've encountered this civilization ago? Again, we figured out how to go here, and we're sending in personnel back and forth. Well, who better to send than the best of the best? So that special forces mission that went down, I've always held questions. Why would you load when anybody that's in the military, if you can tell me this, I would love to get an answer, because I can't figure out why you would put the best of your best on the slowest moving vehicle and fly it over low terrain where an Afghani, tribe guy with a shoulder fired rocket can shoot it down and take out some of your best elite troops. It doesn't make any sense to me. I go, you're in the noisiest helicopter, the military has, flying low, and it gets shot down and all these guys are killed. I go, I don't think they're dead. I think they're doing something else.
Some underworld work.
I'm telling you, that's another thing to add, man. Just like the whole Bermuda Triangle thing too. There's so much mystery that it's unreal.
Yeah, so it's just, like I said, those are topics like I said we could get into later on. But yeah, so it's one that said pyramids, like I said, it's not as in depth, unfortunately, as the mermaids, just because we're not as passionate about pyramids. It was just one that was just kind of brought up, and we're gonna do it. But it's just when you're getting all stressed out, trying to figure out the pyramids, trying to figure out, are we alone on this planet? What better is to eat a nice, comforting piece of cake from Nanny Cakes?
Aliens like Nanny Cakes.
It's just, it keeps the stress down. That's for sure. When you're eating that comfort food.
I'll have to get my job and go work with Nanny Cakes. She's getting so much business, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, so Nanny Cakes, guys, like I said, she's one of our sponsors. Please hit her, up. And then, as always, primary sponsor, Brock's Beard Care. I'm loving that new scent, the apple butter. I don't know if you guys can see
apple butter.
Pixelated me to get you a better camera.
Oh, when you get a better camera?
No, unfortunately, it's a studio lighting I have. It's reflecting off the label.
Oh, fancy!
It's not great. It's not great lighting if it's reflecting off the thing.
Yes.
But,
yeah, maybe. That's what I said. Maybe it's the curse of the tombs is affecting me. So yeah.
Yeah, Nanny Cakes. Check her out on Facebook, Instagram, 407-923-2898. Tell her that you heard of her off the Three Beards podcast. You get 15% off. Same thing with Brock's Beard Care. You don't want to make first contact with a lousy looking beard that's all screwed up. I go, Captain Kirk, you're trying to score with the ladies that are coming from outer space. You don't want this all weird thing that's going nuts. You want a nice, soft beard.
Soft beard.
So I said Kelly Broad's Beard Care. Kelly Broad, broadsbeardcare.com. Go there. Take care of him. Like I said, he's sponsoring us. We appreciate it.
Take care of him. He'll take care of you.
That's right.
That's great.
threebeardspodcast.com. Go check us out. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Like us, share it, tweet it out there, smash that subscribe. Get it.
Share it every day, man. Every time we go live, as soon as we go live, take that share button, just share it across to all your friends. Get some more people.
Share. And we're also on YouTube.
Yep. Like I said, YouTube, just go there, like, hit that notification bell. Make sure you get notified when a new video gets put up. But it's just, I said, we'll figure out and we'll post what the next topic's going to be about. I'm sure we'll figure out something cool.
I think we might have a topic figured out, and we might have a special guest next week. Actually, we should have a special guest Sunday. So if you're into sports, we have a special guest coming in Sunday. So please tune into that. Awfully.
And also stay tuned for us going live on just podcast networks. Also stay tuned. We'll notify you via live when we branch out to just strictly podcast networks for all you joggers, all you people that work out that just wants to listen. We'll be there soon.
Yep.
You won't be able to see us, unfortunately, but you'll still be able to hear this wonderful content.
You can just picture your beard as you're running.
That's right. That's right. All right, gentlemen. As always, enjoy it, Chris. Enjoy the rest of your
See ya.
vacation. We'll see you. We'll talk to you on Sunday. Austin, Chris, as always, good night.
See
Good
ya.
night.